sunshine's out. Hopefully all that rain is gone. And we're looking forward to a weather change with the temperatures going down here soon, right?
Yes.
I'm Eve Vanderwell, I'm the Director of Golf, and I'm here with Kyle Bibler, our Superintendent. If you come up to the putting green, you're going to notice some changes. Tell us what's going on here.
Okay, so we've been struggling with this putting green for the last couple of years, and it's a combination of the trees that were planted after this putting green went in have grown pretty tall now and have shaded out this bottom portion of the green. More importantly, through all these rains, we noticed water backing up on this green. So we dug down, found the outfall structure, and put a hose in there to clean out the clog, which we did. About 75 feet down, we found a stoppage. Got that cleaned out, and so let's go show you what we found here. So we dug down here and found the outfall pipe that was leaving the green that's carrying the drainage to the lake, and we're able to stick a hose in with 120 pounds of water pressure, and we just continued pumping water in until we saw it release the obstruction down there. But this drainage ran down through here, through these trees, which these trees weren't here initially. This was added after the drainage was put in, which is also a problem. And it connected into this basin down here. So this is where the outfall pipe for the green comes into the drainage system. And this outfall pipe was actually under about 3 feet of water. And as we continue to pump high volumes of water into this pipe, the drain here ended up dewatering itself. So we walked over to this lake and realized there was a major clog in the street drainage going to 10. So what we ended up having was two major clogs, one in the street drainage and then one in our greens drainage that just created this whole issue. So now that the clogs are free, we should be able to grow some quality grass up here on the putting green.
That was quite a project you all just did, because I saw that area back up probably 2 or 3 times with water, and it's amazing that you found that clog and you were able to drain it out.
I was very fortunate, fortunate, yes.
So now if a member does show up and they see the sodded area, this still has some time.
It does. It's going to be another week or two. Probably next week we'll put the first cut on it, and it'll take another week or two after that for these seams to go away. But by fall, going into the winter season, we should be good. We won't be able to tell we were in here.
And after you cut it, we really don't want any chipping off of it.
We don't. Let's just leave this for what it is, and just, you can walk across, it's fine, but let's not chip off of it.
Sure. And that'll be for the safety for all our golfers warming up and using this as their warm-up putting green. We also have the Churchill, which is a great place to practice, especially if you need to work on your putts for speed and for undulation.
Undulation, sure.
Yeah. So I'm noticing that back on the board is the number.
The speed is back on the board. We're a little more consistent now that the rains are gone, and we're able to cut on a consistent basis, and we're able to drop the height a little bit. We had the heights up during that time just to protect the grass with all the rain we had and all the overcast weather.
The weather really does influence the ability of what you can do on the golf course, right?
Absolutely, and it changes my schedule. We have a schedule planned out a year in advance, but that's just for me to kind of know what I have coming up, and we change that depending on what Mother Nature throws at us, and she's thrown a lot at us this past 2 to 3 months, that's for sure.
For sure. Well, there's also some things on the golf course we want to look at with some sodded areas, so let's head out there.
Great.
Members, we are on the 8th green, and there's been some changes to the backside of the green here. Tell us what's going on.
All right, Eve, so we've struggled back here the last few years with these pine trees getting large, so we took 33 of them down. It's helped now with the shade issue, but along with that, when we had all these rains, we noticed that the back of this green wasn't draining properly. So here's what we're going to do to fix this. Okay, so this is the issue that we see that we have on this green. The back left and the back right portion of this green has settled, and so the water, instead of sheeting off the front of the green, is now going towards the back of the green, the last 5 feet there, and it can't get past the collar, so the water is just sitting there, and it ends up rotting the grass basically. So this is what we'll do this spring is we'll come in and we'll lower this rough and collar and get this back portion of the green now to pitch off the back way, and the water won't be held up as bad.
So I know the rain affected your mowing on the fairways.
It did.
And we have some new recent spots that have been sodded.
Yes.
And so in those areas, we would like the members to play that as ground under repair. They're not marked, but through till October 1, please take your ball, move it to the nearest point of relief if your ball ends up in a sodded area. There's only a few spots.
There's only a few spots, number 1, number 14, that are actually in the fairway. Everything else is pretty much in the rough.
Very good. And then number 1 and 13 have seemed to have been the wettest, the longest.
They've stayed the wettest, the longest. A little slow drainage there. We're going to come in this winter, possibly this spring, whenever we can get to it, and add some smaller drains in there to help with getting the water off.
So how much rain overall did we have in the last?
So we were down 26 inches in our lake on July 1, and we are now overflowing the lake. So we've come up over 2 feet. We've had, since July 1st till a week ago, we were at about 18.5 inches.
It seems like we've landed in a much better spot.
We are.
It was
Yep.
rough coming out of aeration because of the amount of rain we had and for the longest period of time. But now your staff has done a great job getting back on track, and the fairways are looking good. They're looking better, and the greens are starting to pick up some speed again. For a long time, you couldn't do the normal cutting at your. Is that correct?
Yeah, we weren't cutting every day because of the rain. Not only that, but we were missing some of our growth regulator that we put out there to slow the grass down. We're back on track with that now, and the heights are coming down, so things will pick up in the next few weeks.
I know everyone always asks about the speed of the greens,
Yep.
and there's like a certain number that's sort of where we like to maintain because it seems like it's the happy number.
Sure.
And I saw 10 on the board, as I mentioned before, and now what's your goal going into the fall?
So our goal is to stay between the 10 and 10.5 range, really not get below 10. I mean, you're going to with some missed mowings, with weather, aerification, things like that, where you're just not getting a good quality cut. But typically we're trying to stay at 10, 10.5, try to reach some of these faster speeds, but only for a minimal time because a lot of the members struggle with the higher speeds.
Sure. I mean, and the weather is going to dictate that too, because
Absolutely.
as we go into the fall, the greens will get slicker. There's one last thing I wanted to ask about, and that is the back of the screen here we were just talking about.
Yep.
Talk to me about, you've tried everything from, you did hex plugs that I remember.
We did some hex plugs. Hex plugs work out good,
Okay.
but these areas are a little bit too big. It would have been a daunting task for somebody to do this. So what we did is the grass we took off that was still good on putting green at the shop, we took that and brought it over here and put this on this green. And the guys did a great job cutting this in. I'm not a big fan of sodding greens because it seems like you can always see that it's there. But super job to my staff that did this. It's a week and a half out and you can hardly tell it's here.
And the sand, what is that? What does that do?
We're just trying to fill in some of the voids there with the gaps and whatnot, where the seams are. Plus it's a top dressing day on Wednesday. That's our big top dressing day to get the greens back to where they need to be speed-wise.
Well, since you're mentioning top dressing, what does that actually do?
So top dressing fills a lot of voids. This grass likes to basically smother itself, grow over top of itself. So you do a lot of grooming, top dressing, because you want to keep that sand in there as a growing medium. If you don't, the grass gets puffy. You can kind of feel it when you walk on it. It's spongy, and you lose green speed. The sand will actually help with green speed.
Excellent. Yep. Members, just want to go over a few reminders as we head into season. We always love your assistance with going ahead and filling your divot in the fairways. Our fairways look really great. We know that play will pick up, so just using great etiquette just to remind you to fill your divot on the golf course. And ball marks, sometimes it's hard to see them. Even if you just hit one ball mark, even if it's not yours, I think of a ball mark as a reward for a great shot hit. So I always like to go ahead and fix mine. If you ever have any questions how to properly fix a ball mark, come and see us. We'd be happy to help show you. And we also ask and remind you just 2 carts per group. We appreciate that for the wear and tear of the golf course. Should you need to take an extra cart, we just ask that that extra cart stay on the cart path at all times. We really appreciate you being with us all. We're looking forward to cooler weather,
Absolutely.
drier weather, and a wonderful fall season. We hope that wherever you are, you're doing well, and we always look forward to each day you return to Briars Creek.